Well, Kalen works extremely hard. He's done a good job in practice. It hasn't, materialized in games, but I think we just keep giving it to him, and I think it'll turn. He's a good player. He's shown that through practice, and again, we got a lot of confidence in him. So we'll just keep feeding him, and I think he'll break through at some point.
How do you work with a back in terms of visions and finding holes and maximizing each carry?
You get it in practice. You watch it on the tape, and you go through it. And it's not just one person. All right, so getting in sync with the offensive line and knowing the defensive tackle who's a good player who's going to get a little bit of penetration, and you can almost anticipate some of that. But it's O-line, it's fullback, it's receivers blocking. It's not just one person. I think in a lot of instances, he's the one who ends up with the stat, but it's a team statistic. So, and just like every other statistic. So, to put it on one person, I know that's what ultimately happens, and that's part of being in the NFL. But at the end of the day, it's there's a lot more people involved. It feels.
I apologize.
No,
This
go ahead.
was a close game with the Bills. Obviously, the time around that pick and then that drive was a turning point. What has this team learned since that 98-yard drive, and how have they gotten better since then?
Since that one drive.
Yeah, since that. That was a key moment in that game, obviously, and you played.
We gotta. And those are. Look, you never know what play it's going to be. So every play counts, and that's something we talk about really on a day in, day out basis. So, again, you mentioned the drive. I don't know how many plays there were in that one. I know there were a lot, but there were a few plays in that drive where if we played it a little bit better, or if we had a little bit better communication, or if we made a tackle, or whatever it is on that particular drive. And you could say that for that one particular drive, but there's been some others in the season where, again, a handful of plays and to 3 and out, or an interception, or a fumble. So every play counts, and that's something that we've preached all year. And look, there's ebbs and flows in every game. So we talk about one particular play. To me, that wasn't, or it's never just one play. Really, until you come down to the very bitter end, there's always a series of plays that you never know which one is the one that's going to turn the game, turn the momentum of a game, and be the one play that turns the tide.
The players obviously playing better. Do you think scheme-wise, you guys are doing smarter things as the season goes on?
I think we always try to put the guys in best positions to play well. I think that's always the case. I think as the season progresses, I think every team has a better understanding, feel for the players, what they do well, what they don't do well, who plays well together, who communicates well, what groupings fit best, what, O-line, D-line, nickel group, little dime, ends, what common, there's 11 guys on the field, so there's a few different combinations you can have, so, and situationally, those combinations change, so I think we have a better feel as a staff of what groupings we feel give us the best chance, and we try to put those out there. And sometimes, we try to put the best group out there. This doesn't always work out because it's football, and the other team, they have good players and they make plays. And I'm thinking of a couple. Indy made some plays last week, and the Jets the week before. Every week somebody makes. You're in a good defense. You're in the right call. You feel good about it. And they make a play, and everyone thinks it's we can't coach. So it happens every week to every team.
Follow up on that? What's the most encouraging thing that you have found out about the coaching staff you put together from the time you did that to right now?
These guys, this staff does a really good job communicating with one another, with the players. And we work well together. the kicking game offensively. The kicking game with Danny Crossman and B. Farrell, and there's some of our quality control coaches kind of working in concert with Danny and the kicking game. Offensively, Chad leads the way from that standpoint. But Chad to Eric Studesville to Carl to the whole staff, they do a really good job. And then Pat and Josh and TL, I think we got a good staff, and they work well with the players. They work well with one another, and there's a cohesiveness that you need, on a coaching staff, and then hopefully, and that kind of the team reflects that. And I think these guys have done an okay job from that standpoint, and we just keep working at it.
Ryan Fitzpatrick talked yesterday about how the confidence is higher in the locker room just walking through, which makes more sense after the back-to-back victories. But my question to you is that something tangible? Is that something that you can feel just being around the guys, that the confidence is higher now?
I think anytime you win, that's a confidence builder. So, yeah. But at the same time, I've said this before, it's when you deal with adversity or mental toughness, my opinion is, one, how you deal with failure, and then two, how you deal with success. So I think we've had a little bit of it. I don't think there's any reason to, bask in the glory. We've won 2 games. So, I think, guys, given where we were earlier in the year, I think, there's definitely a little bit of confidence, but I think there's also an understanding that things can go right back to the way they were, and if we don't work at it and we just spend a little less time because we're a little less time of preparation, a little less time, or a little less urgency and commitment in a walkthrough or a practice or a meeting, that's the difference. How many plays in this league are, a tackle, a shoestring tackle, or there's a difference between a 60-yard run and a 6-yard run, or a toe clip is the difference between a sack and a 60-yard pass. That's the difference. And hopefully we don't lose that, from a preparation standpoint, because, we're excited about, what happened last week. We need to forget about last week.
I'm sorry, Dan. When you talk about confidence and things like that, where do you see that on the field and off the field? Are guys paying attention more in meetings? Are they smiling more? Are they executing their plays on the field more because of that confidence?
Look, this is a tough opponent. So, when I see Josh Allen running around on film, I'm confident in our guys, but I know this is a tough challenge. So, whether it's Allen or Gore or Singletary or John Brown, that offensive line, defensively, they got guys everywhere. I have confidence in this team, but I also know, and I know that this is a National Football League and every game's tough, and they're not going to come. They're going to come in here and try to knock our heads off, and we have to be ready for that. So, yeah, confidence, lack of. I don't know how to really explain it, but I moved on from that. We're on to Buffalo, and this is going to be a tough physical game, and we have to be ready for that. And more than anything, we got to be ready for a tough physical game.
Speaking of preparation, when you face a more mobile quarterback like Josh this week or other guys,
yeah.
How does that impact your game plan? Does it make it more stressful, less stressful, same as more stationary?
Yeah, it's stressful.
Yeah.
Definitely stressful. And then you have a guy you put together a game plan where you think you got everybody covered, or this is a good pressure, or this is a good coverage, or whatever we're going to do defensively. You got everybody covered. He breaks a tackle and it's 50 yards. Yeah, that makes you uncomfortable. So we've got to do a good job with our technique, our fundamentals, but at the same time, there's keys to the game that we need to really address, focus on. Obviously, we know, the whole league knows that, Josh Allen's a very mobile guy and can turn the game with his legs. So, and you know what? There's a lot. Every team knows that, and he still goes out there and does it. He breaks a tackle and he makes a big run, and we got to do a good job from that standpoint.
Brian, as you through 9 games, can you form a conclusion yet as to whether you think Jesse Davis is a good starting right tackle in the league, or do you need to see full body of work to form that conclusion?
Well, I mean, look, this is a production business, and as you guys know, you're only as good as your last game. So, but with that said, I think Jesse's done a very, very good job, and I think wherever you put him, he's going to be productive and play well. So right tackle, right guard, left tackle, I think he's going to go out there and give us his best effort. He's going to play hard. He's going to play physical. He's going to be tough. And I like having Jesse on this team, and I feel confident. I'm very confident in his ability.
We know what Needham did to get to this point and to have success in the last 2 games. How does a young player like that continue the forward progress?
You forget about everything you've done. You forget about the last couple games, or you forget about any success you had. And, I know he's getting, I don't know much about social media, but people are saying he's, this or that, or, and yeah, your friends, your family, they're going to congratulate you. That's great. But you start listening to all that too much, and there's just, I don't know, maybe it's 1 minute less on one more text and 1 minute less on film. So, you got to try to put that away and focus on the task at hand, which is preparing for Buffalo and the receivers they have and our scheme, and trying to get that right so that we can string them together, because the world will make you think that, you're this superstar, and maybe you are, but it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is the guys in that room, in that locker room, I should say. And that's funny to you, Safid? Is it? Why?
I don't know. We asked about Shaq Calhoun a couple weeks ago. I mean, we didn't ask about Shaq Calhoun a couple weeks ago. He came up unsolicited. And so it's nice to hear, you want your players to kind of keep an even head about everything.
That's funny?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's it? Okay.